I would like to settle the matter. I left the front door open for about 20 minutes. I was feeling the warm sunlight. And I have the black chair that the neighbor asked me, can I have this chair? Like he is shopping, and this is a storefront. It is also not a yard sale, and he also did not offer me any money for the chair. He just asked me, can I have it? And then I closed the door, and then when I opened the door again, the chair was not where I left it. Yeah. So it went away. Somebody went away with the chair. And then I guess you could say I walked past apartment number 2, and I saw the same chair that I have, and the same chair that I had, same kind of chair in front of apartment number 2, but I did not really see that it was exactly my chair. It looks like most likely it is, but so it's the chair over there in front of apartment number 2. It was in front of apartment number 2. He did not keep it and put it inside of apartment number 2, and I never see the chair again. He wanted me to keep it in front of his apartment number 2. Okay, if this is like a neighbor's war or something, I'm just going to say, well, he is blackmail adultery, if that is who moved the chair. But I am saying that I closed the front door after the blackmail adultery asked me if he could have that chair. I closed the front door and did not see him actually go away with it. There was a blackmail adultery driver of a gray car uh, pulled into the parking space where I was standing looking at the water meters from Las Vegas Valley Water Authority. Okay, no, let me forward a little to Nevada Energy Meters. Okay, so they were Nevada Energy Meters for the electricity. So I was looking at them. There were a number of them all together at the wall of the building, and there was an empty parking space behind myself. I was in between the empty parking space and the wall of the building with the NV Energy meters. So this gray car pulled up into the empty parking space right up close to where I was standing. And then the car backed up, and then it pulled forward again. And so at that point, I stepped out of the way of the car. And when I was standing at a fence, like a railing fence, over by the door that goes in the gate door, the one that I would use to come back here, a blackmail adultery got out of that car, and he walked straight up to me, but I was not in front of his car anymore. Yeah, and he talked right to me. I know who you are. You live in apartment number 1. And I did not go in the gate door. I just said no words, and I walked away towards the dumpster area, and then around. near the back, another back alley. There are two alleys. That was an alleyway. I walked to where the alleyway crosses with another alley. So it was over there. If the black male adultery who was saying, "I know who you are in apartment number 1," if he was going to follow me, he didn't. But I can't afford that he would, because what do you do when you don't want to talk to somebody? What if God didn't want to talk to him because he's black and he's not due to speak English? He could speak Swahili. So he had a driver's license and a car with a car key that fits, and he could drive it anywhere he wants, and he pulled it right up to where I was standing and threatened to hit me with the car twice. Like the second time, he backed up and he pulled forward again. What is that? I'm out of the way of his car. I'm out of the way of the front door. If I walk to where the alley and the alley cross, is he walking over there to talk to me? Something died that he didn't follow me, or he just didn't care anymore. Was he introducing himself as a friendly neighbor? Does he want me to know who he is? He said, "I am from apartment number 2. I don't know that. I don't actually live in apartment number 2. Who is in there? So he is a black male adultery person who wants me to remember that he lives in apartment number 2. Well, I would just like to announce that he is a black male adultery, and I don't know who he is, and I don't know where he is." He did not say anything to me about a black chair. No. But I have that black chair over there, and this one that I'm sitting in. And they are both mine, aren't they? So if he didn't say, "I want the black chair back," he doesn't know that I have it. Oh, because I have it, but that's because I'm in order. I did take it. Because it's mine. He asked me if he could have the black chair, and the answer is no. And why would I want to give away a black chair that I use? And why would I want to give away a black chair to a black male adultery person I don't know? I don't know who he is. I don't know where he is. Is he in apartment number 2? Is he anywhere? Is he in his car? Is he elsewhere? Is he elsewhere with a lot of other black male people? Why is he talking to me? He wants my black chair. Unlikely, because he's black. What does he want? So he's black male adultery and he needs the same black chair that I need. It's mine. Now I have it inside of the front door lock, but all you have to do is knock on the door, and I suppose you can have, you could shop in here, anything you want. That's the threat I'm making. You can knock on the front door, and you can walk right in, and you can shop all around for anything you want, and you can walk right out with it without paying me, that I am the attendant cashier on duty here. Of everything inside of the apartment is all for sale. Yeah, you can have it. It's $0 with 0 cents. You can have it all. It's for sale. Just knock on the front door. You can have anything in here. Price tag, price, announced. No haggling. $0, 0.00 cents. I need to die because that's obscene and insane. I want a death on myself because I don't want to answer to your creator for that problem that you want to control every little thing that moves, including with a black male adultery person I don't identify anyway because he's black. Michael Jordan, you're so strange to the world. Uniform number 23 for Chicago Bulls. You're a black person, everybody knows who you are. You're so strange that way. He doesn't speak that much English. He speaks English, but he doesn't speak a lot. Just a little to the camera about how he's an excellent basketball player, if you ask him. Yeah, but maybe you don't have to ask him. Because he's an excellent basketball player, haha. That's because he's black. So other than that, why do I need to know who is a black person? And why do you want anything that I have? You want everything that's mine to myself. Every black person now, you want everything that's mine to myself. To yourself, you want it to yourself to be yours to myself. You want something that's mine to myself to be yours to myself, and you're black. And you want me to know exactly which black person has something that's mine to myself. Now it's mine to yourself. No, it's yours to myself. Yeah. You want it to be yours to myself. Are you sure you're not the racist person? If you're black, are you sure you're not racist? Well, if it's me, I'm going to die. Yeah, if you want to say that I'm racist, I think I need to die. Because I'm not black, it's fine. I would be willing to die for that. It's not alive that way for you either. I need soap and water, but I just used a little bit of my Nati Pot's water to clean my hands, but it needs soap and water, but that's the best I can do right now. I don't want to stand up. So, for all those animals with exposed genitals indoors, you are an animal. You have a name. Like my dog Rocky. My dog Rocky, well, he's not here, but, he's my dog Rocky from Wisconsin. I don't know where it is anymore because it's an animal, yeah. So Rocky, he had his exposure of his animal genitals. That's dong, genital. Dog genital, animal genitals exposed in my house. And I did not survive that he did not have any doggy wear, to cover his dog genitals. And who can afford that because it's a dog? Yeah, the dog needs to go out. I used to take the dog for walks, but someone was looking for that dog. Yeah, he was like a member of the family, if you know what I mean. Donna Moser and Hans Moser. So he's Hans, dad, and Donna is mom. They were looking for that dog more than they ever looked for me. Since the year 2000, I have been missing out of my house. So it's year 2025 now. Yeah, I'm still missing out of my house. Longer than I ever lived there. Just to pay for that, I ever lived there. Wow, I'm paying rent right now because I did not get born paying rent to apartments. I got born, in a house, and then some break and enter charged me that they were owners of the house and I'm a tenant there until I get out, right? Okay. But I can't immediately get out because it is my house. So, should I thank them for my childhood and try to fuck off the best I can because of the God above myself not having a way to pay for my sleep? Do you know a sex offender? And I know a number of sex offenders. And I don't know if this black male adultery, who announces that he lives in apartment number 2 or wherever he is at any time, is he also a sex offender? Or he's just got a car and he's willing to hit me with his car. He's not a knock on your front door sex offender. Yeah, I don't know. Do you know a knock on your door sex offender? I know one. His name is Brian Dasher. Yeah. He's not black, but we don't know when he knocked on the door. We don't know who knocked on the door. Yeah, when I opened the door, it was Brian Dasher. Okay, yeah, I know who you are. Well, you're not really supposed to be a knock on your door sex offender. I know Brian Dasher, age 13. He's not a knock on your door sex offender. But he is at age 20 or 19 or 20, age 20. He's a knock on your door sex offender. Front door, yes, front door. Well, I cannot afford a knock on your front door sex offender right now because I don't have my parents' money to ensure that there is such a thing as a 13-year-old knock on your front door sex offender named Brian Dasher, age 20. Yeah. That also goes along with my August 5th, 2004 bank robbery abduction problem. I was objecting to how I know Brian Dasher, but I didn't say that because it was the problem itself having to do with Jewish study of Hebrew language words, gibberish, if you will. Yeah, so that is what I stated on that day of August 5th, 2004. But that would include that I met Brian Dasher at a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah gathering, yeah, of somebody else, not mine. That's where I met him because I didn't know him. So what did he say he met me in? He said he met me in nursery school, but that's not alive that way. I didn't meet him in preschool, which would be Temple Menorah. I did not meet him at Temple Menorah preschool. I met him at Mapledale, not high school, it's a middle school, Mapledale Middle School, which is on the same roadway as Temple Menorah, but he was in the gym for a party, for a bar bat mitzvah. I don't know whose at the moment. Yeah. I'm going to need a scissors for this. What about this side? I'll try the other side. Okay. So, do you know when somebody needs to be a sex offender? Is it when they try to get a black chair that's yours to yourself, and they don't hold on to it, and then they pull into a parking space, back up, and pull right into a pedestrian, and they know who you are from apartment number 1. I know the driver from the car to the statement, I know you from apartment number 1, but I don't actually know the driver from the car to apartment number 2, which is what he said he lives in there. I don't know that. But is he a knock on your door sex offender? Because I'm off my parents' money now, except for Mitch Hello is bringing me this food or sending it to me with a supermarket delivery. So is this, do eat this? They're dried kernels of corn. Do I put it on the salad? Am I gonna like this? I'll wait on that. I have the cheese open, we'll do that first. So if I have a identifiable, because now I'm posting this on YouTube, or it won't post, we'll see if it does or if it doesn't, that the blackmail adultery, I don't know who he is. If he's a sex offender, do I know who he is? Do I have to know? Because Charles Toe is a sex offender who's Asian, and I have to know who he is by that he is the one who supplied this YouTube channel. I did not sign up for a YouTube channel under the name Charles Toe to identify Charles Toe himself as Asian. He gave this YouTube channel to me. Yeah, to use, of course. And he's not here to get it back at the moment, but he could come back if he's anywhere, if he's coming back. I don't know. I want to die before I see Charles Toe return to this apartment. I want to die in God. I want to die out of this apartment, like that I'm not here anymore. I need to die because I don't have any way to be elsewhere. There is no rental agreement possible anymore because I don't have full height on my my photo identification card, and I don't have a live to present one anywhere for a key. If you think that's enough, I also don't have banking. So why did you ever take the banking and the photo ID for in exchange for keys? You want to keep me full height. I do too want to stay full height. I didn't know you were threatening my height. Well, what do you need from my height? Because I know why I need to be full height. And then I guess right now I know that I am not full height and why. Landlords, because I have, I don't know, 40 landlords since the year 2000. Yeah. It's year 2000 through year 2025. I have 40 landlords. Yeah, and they all charge money, and they all hostage that they don't give out a key every month for every rent check. I'm going to need the scissors again. All right. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I have something to do right here. but I don't have all of my wits about me. What to do about a racist person who will not go to jail and prison because he is due to be deported and doesn't want to live in elsewheres? So Charles Toe, he's not due to be a habitual offender to where I stay and sleep. He is due in somewhere in Asia where he's Asian, just lives anywhere in Asia. But he's not born there, so he's not due there. And he's not due in jail and prison because he's a racist. Well, why not? Because if he can be inside of, it fits through any door. He fits through any doorway in where he is in America. He fits through any doorway, can go right into jail and prison like everybody else fits through the jail and prison doorway. But I'm not going to jail for you is my policy the wrong way. I really am not going to jail for you. At this point, I have it in leverage. I elsewhere did not have it in leverage, which means this world is disqualified because you attempted to put me in jail with myself asleep. Yeah. So while I am asleep, you are in consumption of attempting to put me in jail and prison and lock me in there, and then you do what you do to me that I can't get out. Well, I don't actually have it paid for. No, I am deceased out of having ever been formed, and that is how the blackmail adultery did not walk by today while I had the door open for about 20 minutes and asked me if he could have what? What does he want? Because he wants me to know he's in apartment number 2. I don't know that. Is he going to say, walk over this way? I want you to see me open the door to apartment number 2, and I go in there. Yeah, I would actually have to do that. But I would have to leave this apartment door open and unlocked? No, I'm supposed to close the door and ignore what he said because that breaks the glass window. That's why you can't knock on somebody's door because you are threatening you may, for one reason or another, break the glass window. And I am not against Supreme that way. The Supreme order is that's a glass window right here and one over there and one over there. I'm not against the order of the glass window. That is a black person who is against the order of the glass window. That's why he's black. So the black person does not know not to knock on somebody's front door because you have black skin, because your nose is crushed, because you don't have correct body weight for your black skin. If you speak English, that is going to affect your black body. The water bottle moved. Forgive me. Let me move this back. Okay. If you are a black person, you speak English affects your body weight and some other things. I don't want to talk to you if you're black so that I don't make it sensitive about that you are obviously black. Yeah, it's just not due to speak. I don't want to talk to a black person and irritate you about you being black. It's not due to speak. So what do you want me to do if a black person talks to me? You want to nail me right in the ear that you're black and I'm not black and I can't talk to you. I can talk to you because I'm white. You can't talk to me because you're black. That's the order. Well, what are you doing here is the question of a white person talking to a black person. And I'm not a white person. I'm God deceased. I did not form that black person. He's formed by somebody white. So who's watching this video? Because you owe me keys. So I can move away from this black person who thinks I live in apartment number 1, is what he said. I need another place to live for that. The black person said he thinks he lives in apartment number 2, and he wants me to know that about him. I need another apartment or house or somewhere else where I can live alone and away from this black person. And then once I leave, you have to find the black person and you have to put him in jail. Yeah, and then you have to say, you have to go to the jail and say, I cannot find the black person I have to put in jail because he's black. And then you have to make him insane. I need a death on myself because that's not an order that is done at this time. So now that I'm off my parents' money, but not really because of Mitch Hello Food, what do we do about knock on your front door sex offenders? Are you going to let God take care of that? Because sexual abuse already occurred to this body and you want it off its parents' money. You are hauling it off its parents' money because it's arrogant. But I am none higher than he deceased right here, and that's still not enough. The blackmail adultery who said to me, I know who you are, you live in apartment number 1, and I live in apartment number 2. That's what he said to me. I'm none higher than he deceased here, and that's not enough leverage to stop the black person from saying that to me. And I don't have enough leverage for you to fight with him, to make him insane, because he will not turn himself in to the airport and go to Africa. He has to say at the airport, I am black and I need to go to Africa on an airplane. And if they don't let him on for free, he needs to fight with them. He needs to say, I'm black and I go to Africa for free. I don't pay you. I'm not an educator. He didn't already do it. That is against myself, and there's no correction. I will post this on YouTube, but I don't expect him to see it. And if he does, I'm not sure that will help, that he thinks that he lives in apartment number 2. I don't know where he lives. I don't know where he is. Yeah. No, I don't know. And if he's shunning, I definitely don't know. So is God making this problem of a black male adultery who speaks English for somebody white, but it's not myself to myself? And he talks to me about myself. He lives in apartment number 2 to himself, or number 1, right? Um, so is God making this problem that he is keying apartment number 2 to himself? He says it to me, and he does what with himself? I don't know, because I don't know where he is. And then I also don't know who he is because he's black. And then God wants to create the apartment with the black person inside, and then create the shunning around my schedule. I don't have a schedule. I am awake. I work a little. I talk to myself. I bathe. I eat. I sleep. It's not really a schedule right now. It's just see how it goes during the day. So what about the black male adultery if he's in apartment number 2 or if he's elsewhere? Is God shunning him in the apartment, shunning him? What about the car? There is a black male adultery. There could be 2 of them or more. Black male adultery driver of a gray car in the parking lot, parking maybe, or maybe it's out. So is he shunning in the car or is he shunning in the apartment? Is he going to shun right into this apartment? Well, is he going to make a key and enter? Is he going to knock on the door and enter? Is he going to shun right into the apartment because he's been shunning in apartment number 2? He's been shunning in a gray car in the parking lot, or he's been shunning because he's been out. So the police are not going to try to catch him when they can. You want me to be a police officer of this behavior of this black person? What about God? You think God will take care of it for me? That he'll just be either in apartment number 2 or shunning? Or maybe he'll be in the parking lot in the gray car, or in traffic somewhere, or just shunning out somewhere. Do you think God can take care of that for me? Because he didn't take care of that with Charles Toe. Charles Toe is not shunning because he's not allowed near me. And he had to use all the time. He occupied between 22 and 23 years of alive of myself. I saw Charles Toe always alive around me, just God creating him to leave me alone. And he's not here now, but does the black male adultery person who talks to me about myself that he thinks I live in apartment number 1 and he announced that he lives in apartment number 2, a black male adultery, lives in apartment number 2. God's creating him to hold the key, open the door to apartment number 2 and dwell in apartment number 2. And he's shunning in there because he doesn't hold alive in there, or he's in there. What's he doing in there? Is God going to create his day for him? Well, he's harassment to myself. Why? I am God deceased right here. I don't think I afford the harassment because I am shutting down alive. But you don't want me to. What do you want? You want my keys. You want to lock me out, or you want to be in here? Because Charles still wanted to be in here. And this black male adultery, where does he want to be? He wants to be in apartment number 2. I'm not paying out an apartment. No, I didn't give him the key. If you have the key to wherever, I can stop you. God gave you a key that fits to apartment number 2. Why? How did that happen? He didn't give me a key that fits to apartment number 2. Does he want to know if I have a key to apartment number 2? Wow, he's a black person who wants to know if I have a key to apartment number 2 because he lives in there. Well, I would not give him a key as a landlord. No. I don't know anyone a key. Do you know why Charles Toe asked me for a key and then he got one? The landlord said that he could stay, and that's so funny. The landlord charged me the rent money anyway. Yes, but why is it that the landlord didn't have a problem? Landlord had a problem when landlord not get the rent money. Becky not allowed to be here. So the landlord willing to take the money and be in the office, but not willing to handle anything in the apartment except for a maintenance request that can be finished in 1 day out of 30 a month. So you don't have time and space correctly about these problems. And what do you want me to do? You want me to watch the apartment for the office? Yeah, I'm the one who needs to be here. Is my God going to create shunning in the office, shunning in the apartments? So what do you need about being here? Because I don't have any interest in God creating you and alive at all. If he needs to shun you, he needs to shun you permanently, and I will never see you again. I do not afford that you come like God out of shunning, which is illegal, and you talk to me about myself. That is so illegal. I dismiss the creation of myself. I want myself deceased. Yep, I don't afford it. That's so illegal and alive. I don't want to alive it as soon as I am deceased out of form. Yeah, I am deceased out of form, but I'm still here looking at the door locking, waiting on don't know what. Something that's not myself is keeping me alive here. And I will eat for you is not true. I am posting videos on YouTube for myself deceased out of the door locking, and I will die and accidentally kill everything. Yep, I'm going to kill everything because you are charging me food money, because you are harassing myself that a black person knows where he lives, but not without announcing it to myself that he knows where he lives. And he's black. I'm not a witness to that a black person is black and he is someplace. He is due to be shunning on this video, exactly. I want the leverage that he's shunning on this video, whether it posts on YouTube or not. Nudity check of a black male adultery in apartment number 2, done by police. But if they check his nudity, they have to go away with his clothes, and he can't be near myself with his penis exposed. You need more police to fight with him. You need about 800 police officers to fight with the black male adultery who announced he's in apartment number 2, and he wants me to know itself. They have to fight with him to take his clothes away and his shoes, footwear. So he has no footwear and no clothing on. And then you need to fight with him that he's not to be near any females or myself, the Godhead. And you don't have an alibi because of Charles Toe being the name on this YouTube account. The police can take him naked, nude, all the way to the airport and try to get him to Africa with an airplane. If he is not himself a pilot, the police should become a pilot and goodbye.